G'day, how you going? All right. Today what we're going to talk about is how to write a great social media marketing proposal. Now, a good social media proposal will actually help you win clients, and a great one will help you keep them. They're kind of a cross between a pitch and a contract, because proposals formalize plans with clients, they establish expectations, and let's be honest, they really give you an opportunity to show how socially savvy you are, right? So if you're a freelance social media professional or a social media manager at an agency, it's likely that you've been or maybe will be involved in creating a social media proposal at some point. Now, if you follow these steps, that'll help you to make sure that your next proposal checks off all the right boxes. And look, get in touch with me at steve@businessmentals.com to get our free template so you can create your own version in minutes. So, depending on the context, proposals appear at different occasions within a company's workflow and within the sales process. They may be part of a sales development process, a client pitch, or even an acquisition bid, or just a regular reevaluation of marketing initiatives. But before you can actually write a winning social media proposal, there's an important research and discovery process that should happen first. And this is what's going to separate you from your competitors who just throw a content and a pricing structure at a client like shit at a wall and they hope that it sticks, okay? What you're going to do if you follow these points is to elevate yourself into the top 1% of marketing professionals who treat the proposal stage as mission critical. So, step one, determine the business and social media goals. So you're going to start with some key questions. What are the goals of my client's business? Now, while you're thinking of that, you should also remember the sales value triangle. Your job is to help them increase revenue, reduce costs, or expand their market share. So when you're looking at this, think about, well, what are they working towards and how can social media help them achieve one of those three goals: increase their revenue, reduce their costs, or grow their market share. Use the SMART framework to make sure that your social media goals are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and timely. And I would also suggest you use Moscow. Must have, drop the O, should have, could have, drop the next O, and would like to have, because this is a really powerful way of helping the client and you get very, very clear on what must be done, all the way through to, gee, you know, if we've got a bit of extra time, we can do this down here. It's going to help by an order of magnitude that you just won't believe. Number two, learn about your client's audience. Don't make assumptions about the client's audience in your proposal. Collect as much data as you can and use it to develop and support your strategy. Now begin by gathering general social media statistics and then delve into more specifics such as social media demographics. You know the drill. And then if you can, dive into industry specific statistics. Now, if you've already got a relationship with the client, ask them to share any data that they have about their audience as well. And if you've already got access to their social media accounts, then you can use the analytics to your advantage. If not, see what data that you can glean using the many other social media analytics tools that are out there. So once you've amassed and sifted as much information as you can, the next thing to do is to consider creating audience personas. Now, I'm not going to go into those in details because I'm sure you know exactly what I'm talking about. So at this stage though, it doesn't hurt to go back to step one and review your goals. With these audience insights that you've now got, do those goals still make sense? And if they don't, then give them a little tweak if necessary. Right, step three, get to know the competition, because no man is an island and no business is operating in isolation. Who are your clients' key competitors? Try and identify at least 5 strong competitors to benchmark against. Are there any brands in similar industries that are worth looking at? So once you've identified competitors, you can make use of other social listening tools like Hootsuite Streams to monitor their activity and audiences. So what you're actually doing is creating a huge matrix of information. So what I would suggest is that you actually map it all out in a matrix to show how competitor social media efforts are positioned in relation to each other. And then what you're going to look for is the white space, the gap, the gap that you might be able to fill in with your social media strategy. Now, unless you're extremely lucky, you're not going to find that out without doing all of that research and all of that competitor analysis. And working to improve your competitive analysis skills is actually really important. The more accurately you can tell what's happening in the marketplace, the better you can help your client and the better results that you will get. Okay, number 4, conduct a social media audit. Unless your proposal marks your client's first venture into social media, you're not going to be starting out from scratch. A social media proposal should take into account how the client's current social media presence can be grown or improved upon. So do some investigating to find out what social media channels your client is currently using. What platforms are they strongest on and why? How has their previous social media initiatives measured up? Now, it may help to put all your findings into a social media audit template. And once again, you'll be able to find one of those on our website if you don't actually have one. And number 5, develop your content strategy. With steps 1 to 4 complete, you've now got the raw data to get to work on a content strategy. And this is where you should work out what type of content will be created or curated, how content is going to vary by platform, and when and how frequently it should be posted. Things like tone of voice, design and style, you've also got to define them. Now, use your client as a resource as much as possible. You know, a brand mission statement, their style guide or their brand book if they have one, are all important references if your client can provide them. And you should also ask your client what brands personally inspire them. Okay, so now that you've conducted research and you've developed a strategy, you're going to need to put your findings into a logical and presentable framework. And here's 7 tips to help you write the perfect social media proposal. Tip number 1, write the executive summary and the introduction last. Obviously, these should come first in your actual proposal, but you'll probably find it easier to write this part last. And in this section, you're going to provide an overview of the proposal. You're going to summarize the need for the proposed project, the anticipated results, the budget, and the resource requirements. And don't forget to introduce yourself as well. Briefly present you and your company, your mission statement, and the relevant experience that you and the team have. Okay. Also introduce some of the team members, but if it's a large team, then just get the client-facing employees in there, not everybody. Tip number 2 is address the client's needs and objectives. This section is an opportunity to show the client that you understand the needs and goals of their business. Keep it simple and be as specific as possible so that you leave little room for any kind of wiggle room later on, or ambiguity or misunderstanding. Now, leverage your research from what we were talking about before, and particularly in steps 1 and 4, to identify the organization's needs and or its problems. Now, you can use a point form to list that in the actual document that you're doing. And then follow that by stating your client's business goals or objectives, and make sure each goal passes the SMART test that we talked about earlier. Step number 3, present the social media goals and objectives, and state approximately 3 to 5 social media goals. And again, they should be SMART. Each objective should specify the platform, the metric, the end date that you're going to be aiming for. For example, increase Facebook followers by 25% by the end of the year. Remember, these goals should help achieve the client's overall business objectives, but make sure you don't overpromise. If you set goals that are too ambitious, that's going to become clear really soon, and your client is going to like a bit of ambition, but overselling is either going to weaken your proposal or damage your relationship with them down the line, okay? Tip number 4, outline your tactics. And this might be the most important section of a social media proposal, because here you're bringing your strategy into play, backed by the learnings from your audience research and all of your social and competitive audits. Now, that might sound a little bit daunting, but remember to keep it simple. So start by producing a scope of work. This might include social media promotions and campaigns, content creation, social media monitoring, social media engagement, social selling, and lead generation. Now, it goes without saying that these tactics should align really, really neatly with your social media objectives. So if one of your objectives is to increase Facebook followers by 25% by the end of the year, it should be clear to the client exactly what you're going to do to accomplish that goal. Now, tip number 5, produce a schedule and a budget, and just use really simple charts to create a detailed timeline and a budget overview, and make it really easy for people to understand. Give them enough detail so that they can get a good understanding, but don't overdo it and don't weigh it down with too many line items or details. You can always stick all of that stuff in the appendix. Number 6, describe how you plan to measure your success. So part of your proposal is going to show how your social media plan is going to be evaluated. Are you going to be providing regular updates? What analytics will you be monitoring? What measurements will be the clear indicators of your success? And tip number 7 is include an appendix. Your social media proposal should be succinct and straightforward, and use an appendix to break down more comprehensive research findings, a detailed budget, and just about anything else that might need additional support or elaboration. But don't just throw things in there without an outline. Make it easy for your client to actually use. And remember, it's not just your client who is going to be reading this. Your client may need to circulate it to other people. And so make it really easy for everybody to work through the document and to make sure that the appendix in particular shows your workings and the strengthening of your rationale for the proposal that you're making, okay? So creating a winning social media proposal does involve a fair amount of work. So don't forget the basics. Make sure that you include your contact information as well, and indicate that you're ready and available to answer any questions that may arise. So there you have it, everything you need to know about how to write a great social media marketing proposal. Now remember, you can find the templates that I've talked about on our website at www.businessmentals.com. If you like this topic, we have an upcoming online course that will teach you in detail everything that you need to know to get on your feet and build a business using your skills from scratch. The link is in the description. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. It'll help support the channel. And if there's anything that you'd like for me to talk about, drop them in the comments. Now make sure you hit that little icon bell doody down there somewhere, because that'll help you join the notification squad to get notified every time we upload, because I respond to questions within the first hour. And I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later.